That's okay, James. You are immediately forgiven because the game has started. Game number 1 is underway in Kansas State. Well, it was quite a fight for this season, but the Western Conference has been the Wild West for a reason. It really hasn't been anybody's but the Ducks, and Bernie gets a long lob into the net.
Yeah, we see that attempt there by Young, but Bernie was just too fast, and it was also not the greatest hit by Gumbold Rhino.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Gumbold Rhino.
It's not Gumbold Dr. Hino?
Gumball Dr. Hino.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could go either way.
Yeah, you could, it could be Gum Alder. Or, we're going to stop trying. I'm going to call him Gumby, because that's what his official CRL name is.
But saying Gumbold Rhino?
Gumbold Rhino is pretty good. I agree. Rhinos are a terrific, terrifying animal. If you ever get caught head-to-head with a rhino, don't.
Maybe it's Gumbledrino.
Gumbledrino. That does sound more nice to say. Ooh, nice shot by Young. And he will pick up the first goal for K-State on the double tap.
And a hard hit off the backboard. I always think that's a smart play, and I think there's a bit of a miscommunication there because Sugar was furthest back. You expect him to try to deny the backboard. Somebody should have gone. You cannot let that backboard be that vulnerable, especially in a situation like that. You're asking for it, and they got it. Not challenging.
Missouri S&T were feeling bad about the one that they let in. We don't feel bad anymore. Both teams conceding a similar type of goal, except Young's being a nice double tap time, getting a good flip forward. And Missouri S&T getting set up quickly, actually finding more space on the backboard than you might expect. And still Bernie takes the shot, hit him backside. And there's a lead for Missouri S&T.
I mean, look at this save right here. Right there. It looked like Gumby had pull shot Young into keeping that one out. Young couldn't get the follow-up save on empty. Missouri S&T out to a quick start. Both goals coming at the hands of Bernie. And now Kansas State going to have to battle back from behind.
Young didn't have the boost to chase that one down any farther. K-State could have gotten real trouble there had that challenge not happened in midfield. They were all bunched up together and still kind of bunching up a little bit on the rotation, but just wanting a quicker follow-up, and that's can put you in positions like this. This time, Young did have a little bit of space to get out. Just K-State still trying to find their way through the match, or through game 1 rather, and having to retreat on a lot of these opportunities that Missouri S&T have had in the first, or the last minute or so, I'll say.
It's been decently back and forth, though. Kansas State, they appear to be threatening here with a good amount of possession. Well, we've seen how quickly that can turn around. Young, what will he do here? That's a good backboard pass.
Knack with the follow-up on it. Gumby will actually get the goal here.
I'm
Gumby
surprised
picks
too.
it up. Yeah.
Jorby, I could tell just by the way you were speaking that you didn't think that was going to go in. And honestly, neither did I.
Yeah, I thought Time had that one, but that was actually a kind of a tough position for him. He was backwards, had to flip back, and looking like Gumby, after hitting that shot, he couldn't believe he scored it, and so he disconnected.
He hit the ball so hard his controller got disconnected.
Yeah, it flung out from his hands. The wire fell out. I hate when that happens. You get so hyped, the controller goes crazy. Turn off your vibration, folks. It kills your battery.
Apparently it was an internet connection thing because he has just dropped out of the lobby. So we'll get him back in here as soon as we can. The game tied up. Gumby hitting that shot and, using the bottom of his car as well. And that's really why you saw the shot so slow. You, a lot of times in that situation, want to use the corner of your car to try to get the most power. But that time, the placement was enough and still found the back of the net. So we'll see if Gumby can get back in here because this one's already shaping up to be a fun one. About half the game left to play. That one went in at the 2:32 mark, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece. So we're just waiting on Gumby.
Yeah, it feels like both teams are still, finding their wheels in this match. So if you want to put it that way, but they've been able to adjust pretty quickly. I think that I would say that Missouri S&T got to be a little careful on that backboard. Don't want to let too many rebounds come off of it. I do feel like backboard defense in CRL overall has improved a lot, especially in the Western Conference. Like it just feels like there's a lot of fast games over in the Western Conference, even for these middle of the road teams. I mean, last week we had, I think it was actually Missouri S&T and another team that was playing, and they were playing like probably faster than I expected, and they were grabbing everything off the backboard. There was nothing for free ever. They had to resort to infield passes, had to win multiple challenges on offense, but this is definitely a little bit slower of a game, and some of these are coming off. And this is high pressure. We're getting near the end. Both of these teams are fighting for a playoff spot, so the pressure's pretty high.
It certainly is, and a lot of times teams like to test the backboard anyway because it's an easy option. And if you can just get a ton of power, if you do have that wind up and you see that the players really aren't on the wall already, I love going for the backboard. I think it's a smart play because a lot of times, if they're underneath the ball and they try to jump up for it, it's an awkward read. And a lot of times you can just get a free goal anyway. So it's always smart to test the backboard. And right now, early on, at least it has been paying off. But I do expect, like you said, Jorby, a lot of these teams at this level now so good at defending it. I don't expect it to be an option for too long. Otherwise, if they keep giving it up, you're going to keep seeing some pretty easy goals scored. So we'll see how that changes.
We're still waiting for Gumby to get back into the lobby. Hopefully everything is okay on his side for his internet, but we will get the game going as soon as we can. When we restart, it'll just be back on the kickoff, and we will be good. Bernie has no faith in my ability to talk about things, James. So, I'm gonna throw it over to you, James. What do you got? What do you got for me, James?
Well, I just think if Bernie is okay, Bernie is giving us a piece of analysis.
Ooh,
and
yeah,
I think this really goes to tell you the level of intellect on this Missouri S&T team. He says one team needs to score more than the other to win. It's true. That's true.
Also,
and that's undeniably factual.
And there's another quotable sentence from him. Usually hitting the ball is better than not hitting the ball.
And the thing I love about that statement, Jorby, from Bernie, is that he says usually. If you don't put usually in there, it's not true, right? Because there are some moments where not hitting the ball is the right decision.
That's true. He did ask me to explain why CRL players are far inferior to South American pros.
It's because they don't, we've seen a few flip resets today, but not enough, not nearly enough.
Yeah.
So we'd have to see more of that.
Yeah, flip resets, and if you leave, the offensive half, you're not playing like a South American. Let's be honest. But CRL players still rotate beyond midfield. That's not something South American pros do. But there's great little chat going on in the lobby while we try to get Gumby back in. We appreciate your guys' patience while we get everything set. If you are just tuning in, Kansas State and Missouri S&T are battling it out. We're at almost literally the halfway point in game number 1. It's tied 2 apiece. Gumby hit the tying goal, and then his internet fell out. So we're waiting for that to get resolved, and we will get the game going as soon as possible. Bernie giving us information tips, and I'm waiting for more. It was fun. I want him to give me more tips. My favorite tip is, James, press A to flip your car when it's upside down. That's my favorite tip, personally.
I don't know if that's the same. I think I might have changed the buttons around. But you know what, Jorby, we'll have more time to get some nuggets of knowledge from Bernie as we go to a quick break. We're going to be waiting for Gumby to try to get his internet issue sorted out. And as soon as he does, we'll be back with the first game of the series. Stay with us. I might have just broke a world record, honestly.
Well, 2020 has certainly been a year of firsts, and James just had his moment, and now K-State and Missouri S&T can have theirs. Gumby, he has found his way through the singularity. He has broken through the copper strands of his Ethernet, and we are underway. And if you were still with us from earlier, yes, it's still game 1. We're halfway through it. It's tied up 2-2, and maybe the long extended break will help out our players as we're underway. Young going to kick that one out to the corner.
You know, the only thing I would have changed, Jorby, is if Dazrin was here to provide some lyrics.
I'll let you sit out on that one, but time will keep this one going, and now Gumby will actually make a couple nice challenges, and maybe the change in his name will help fix his internet. He's no longer Gumbledrino, and now he's just Gumson.
I like it.
Make
got to
that
change
what you
something
will.
up. You got to change
Young,
something.
another double? Ooh! I thought Young had the double.
And this is some good pressure coming out from the Farmer boys. Saw multiple chances, but Gumby is going to be low on boost. Not the greatest clear, but Bernie with a miss.
Ooh. Knack able to get to that ball in time. Bernie was definitely threatening on that passing play. Oh, and Young will kick it away from time, but it's enough hang time for Sugar to get back to it. So Kansas State back on this extended stay on defense. Young clips kick it back to it, and Bernie puts the ball in. Missouri S&T late lead.
Bernie scorch into that one. Then you saw the touch from Gumby. Wasn't ideal, and the speed from Bernie got there before the defense was able to pick up a hat trick. Heck of a game from Bernie.
Well, off the kickoff, that demo onto Bernie actually still gave time a chance at it, but now Young takes advantage of it off the backboard. Oh, the pass from Knack over to Gumby, but he puts it way high. That Dominus can have deceiving power when you're trying to get under it. Young can't get the clear out. Bernie denied by Gumby, getting up pretty quick to that next one.
But you see Knack rushed that touch a bit. There was nobody from Missouri S&T anywhere close. But it might pay off still. We're starting to see Kansas State put Missouri on watch.
Ooh, Gumby just missing that challenge. That would really put Missouri S&T in a bad spot, but it's wide open for them. Easy goal for Sugar, an easy lead and game securing goal for Missouri S&T.
And Knack was third man back. He risked it all, which you can't really blame him. At this point in time, with time running out, you just got to go for it. Hopefully, you get a dunk in those situations. Perhaps you get one off the ceiling and down. But it wasn't in the cards. Missouri S&T, strong start. Bernie, especially with that hat trick.
And Missouri S&T will close this one out nicely in game one. But, now that you've gotten warmed back up, and it took a little bit. That was a long break halfway through game one to get through. Your hands get a little cold while you wait for a little while. But now you're warmed back up, and so, I expect things to equalize a little bit back as we get started in game two.
And, even though game one was a loss for Kansas State, in the end, it was a win for Gumby's internet. It proved to hold up for those final few minutes, so hopefully that will be a good omen moving forward, and we'll be able to have Gumby with us for the duration of the rest of the series.
A win for the stream, too, I'd say. Without Gumby's internet failing at the time it did, we wouldn't have gotten the recording concert of our time. And that's how I'm going to leave it at that. Game two, underway on Forbidden Temple.
Honestly, I feel like a recorder backtrack for Forbidden Temple would fit in quite nicely.
Yeah, you want a Yankee Doodle on Forbidden Temple?
I would have to bring out something a little more sophisticated.
Oh, okay. Well, until that time, we'll have to deal with the crowd noises alone. But time, we pulled off on the play, but Gumby cut him off anyway. A couple of demos from Young. And now Gumby gets a long passing play that hit the crossbar. It actually had the length and the distance to make it. And a quick turnaround for Bernie, but denied on the retreat from Kansas State.
That was such a good opportunity for Kansas State. It all started when Young was able to get the demo to open up a bit of space for his teammates to work with. And then we saw multiple shots come in that were just off the mark. Kansas State, strong start, but they wish they probably would have put one of those shots in.
Oh, Sugar makes a nice move, but the follow-up was not expecting that. Bernie did shovel the ball away from Gumby. It is quite a physical game, whether intentional or not. There's a lot of cars bumping into each other, and that's going to affect how you rotate out, how you get back into the game. Knack looking for a hard clear. He's going to get it. Nice recovery and nice launch from Time. Gumby just back enough, but is it enough? Here comes another shot. Knack picks up the save. And Time already back. Trying to contest Gumby here. And it's tough to do. Gumby made a series of great challenges earlier, but Knack missed the ball off the backboard, and Bernie will punish Missouri S&T on the board.
Extended boost starvation from Missouri S&T, and that hit from Sugar. It was close enough on net to force Knack out and made him commit, but it was ended up being a great pass, just bouncing right off that backboard out to a teammate. Missouri S&T, you make defenders panic when you get them in those situations where you're starving out their boost. You keep that ball bouncing off the backboard. You force them to use up what little boost they have to try to make the play, and eventually, you find yourself whittling them down, and that's exactly what happened for Missouri S&T.
Winning the war of attrition, and K-State, they've been able to respond every time Missouri S&T seemed to start to pull away. Adding a second goal to their lead could prove pretty detrimental to Kansas State's ability to fight back. It's been hard for them to generate any kind of offense, and they have 2 registered shots on net. One came from that nice transition pass downfield that they hit off the crossbar. They might get another one here from Young. He takes it. Oh, and Bernie was there to cover anyway off the crossbar.
Knack, an accidental backflip, which is going to put him in a tough spot defensively. Now a double commit. Time. Like that turn from him. He was looking to poke that off the backboard again, and Missouri S&T has been finding a lot of success going for that backboard, keeping the height of the ball high, force Kansas State to use up that precious boost.
K-State get out of that, but they seem content to let Missouri S&T take shots at the net. Gumby has been the last man in net several times, but it's Knack picking up 3 saves. Nobody gets a save as Bernie puts in his second goal for Missouri S&T. There's the insurance.
And that was a lovely pass from Time. And then the pre-flip from Bernie. That's exactly what was needed in that situation. Bernie getting up to speed quickly, holding boost down the whole time. And he got to that ball at the right moment. That was perfect.
And, K-State, they have to find a better way to get to these challenges in their own half, because the second man consistently is just being left out to pasture. Doesn't really have anything. And the third man is diving, hoping for a save. And that's 3 easy goals for Missouri S&T.
So Knack, he had the time to get the read right on it, but you see he turned a little bit to the right as he was on the wall and ended up jumping too low. You've got to be perfect on that. You got to be exact as you're coming off the side of the wall like that. Otherwise, you find yourself in trouble, and that's exactly what happened. Knack had just put in the wrong input at the final moment. In this game, when you're going that fast, it is a game of millimeters.
And, it definitely is worth noting. It is a bit unfortunate what happened to Gumby earlier, because we talk about momentum so much, but momentum is purely it's a mental thing. And it's a mental battle, and to have the break in the middle, you're trying to get your internet back up, and you know that this is an important match to position yourself well for a playoff run, or at least just to sneak into the playoffs. It already becomes a tough fight with each game that you lose, and the mind battle becomes the biggest battle on the pitch for your team. And I feel like K-State are really fighting that battle, as they've had a couple of opportunities like that where they've hit the crossbar on, and Gumby barely sneaks it in. I thought Bernie had another save, but he got it in.
Yeah, and Young also missed his chance. And Sugar actually bumped Time out of the play. I missed that the first go-around. But Gumby is going to be able to get this shot. That was quite the team bump. Oh, my goodness.
It feels great to get bumped by your teammate out of the play, but then it's okay, because here come K-State. Knack couldn't grab the ball again, but very aggressive spot for Gumby. Ooh, diving at the play was Young, and now it forces K-State back. That wastes so much time off the clock. And Missouri S&T, all they got to do is keep things locked here for 1 or 2 more touches. In fact, Bernie might put it in. Oh, it's Sugar. He stole it. Sugar, no. No. That is bad mojo, man. That was Bernie's goal. I think I'm upset for Bernie.
Oh, Bernie, yeah, you might. I think you might have. You might have actually hit it out. I think you might have hit that straight down, and it would have popped out. But it was close. It was close.
It could have been. It could have been the best way to get a hat trick. That's the only reason I was upset. But I'm over it now, and Missouri S&T are about to get over it as they put Kansas State on match point for a potential 3-0 win.
Yeah, Missouri S&T has been looking quite good. We see them on the passing plays, keeping that ball elevated. Kansas State struggling to find boost. Bernie with an excellently timed pre-flip goal time. That pass to him also was exquisite. We almost saw Bernie get the hat trick off the ceiling on that play, but we're seeing the backboard vulnerable. Kansas State has just not been able to defend it, and a lot of that's been by design for Missouri State, but also just a few misreads on defense for Kansas State. We saw Knack misread the one coming off the side of the goal's wall and let that one bounce in, and you really want to you really have to actually make those saves. That I think that point was really difficult for Kansas State. We'll see if they clean up things on defense.
Yeah, if they can find a better way to follow up a second man, and actually, you mentioned it, James, Missouri S&T winning the aerial battle, keeping the ball elevated has been a struggle for Kansas State to deal with, but if they can better position, if it means you have to sit on the wall or the back wall so you can jump at a higher level and get to some of these challenges, whatever works on defense, you got to go to it. Otherwise, Bernie is just going to keep burning you on the shots every single time.
Yeah, he's burning for both ends. You can see there, fire coming off the fender. Also, with that boost coming out his back, he is just hitting scorchers today.
Very nice from Bernie. And, it's not the first or even the second time we've seen it from him. I feel like Bernie is definitely, whenever he gets on stream, just seems to be when he's playing so well. Time, throw this downfield. And now you're really starting to feel the pressure for the Farmer boys. Knack will find Young again. And again, like this K-State team, James, they've had chances, especially on the transition. That's where they've had the most success against Missouri S&T, catching them out in midfield. And it's usually Young behind the ball. Ooh, shot blocked by Young there. But he keeps hitting the crossbar.
Another really good passing play, though, Jorby. We saw Time waiting down in the middle. Time hooked up with Bernie on the passing play last game where Bernie pre-flipped off the wall. And Knack, I like that play as well. Going for the pop, trying to get the demo or the bump. Going for that unblockable shot, but it didn't pan out. Seen some good efforts on both ends.
Pass from Bernie, but a little too much juice on it for Time to handle. Sugar probably wanted a lighter touch, have it a little closer to him so he could get a double on it, but Knack will carry it again. Tried to go under Time, but couldn't keep control of the ball. Well, Gumby just hit it off the post. That almost worked out for them, but now Bernie's got a breakaway, and he knows it. Can he get back to it before Knack? No, but Time has the rebound. Pass in front. Oh, Knack picked it up. That's a dangerous pass, but also potentially high reward. And Missouri S&T sad they didn't get it.
And that was some good defense there. You saw the lanes getting clogged up. Knack with some big defensive stops. He made that defensive error last game, which really put Kansas State on a losing trajectory. But this game so far has been making some excellent stops back to back, keeping this within reach really for Kansas State, but they're going to have to find something on offense.
They're still struggling on these follow-ups on defense. It's allowing Missouri S&T to grab more boosts, get reset, and even when they get to this corner, they're just faster to the ball. Bernie, just that. Knack wants a clear. He doesn't get it. It just turns into a passing play, but Time got bumped off of it, killing the power. Still a struggle to grab any sort of possession in midfield. Knack will launch one downfield towards Gumby, but there's always an orange car in the way of the Farmer boys' dream of a goal, and it just hasn't come to fruition yet. They have 4 shots on net, but nothing to show for it.
Good play from Young so far, though, that first touch around the defender, and I like that pass. Sugar, though, was able to defend that backboard. But that was a good play. I like that play from Young, being able to get around the defender. Now he might have a shooting chance, but it's broken up by Time.
Very good defense from Missouri S&T as well. We talked about how Kansas State has adjusted for the most part, but Missouri S&T don't allow Kansas State to stay for long, and when they do get down there, Time especially has eked the ball out in some tight situations. He had to handle the 1v1 against Knack earlier, required good patience on his part. Time just seems to, be calm in those really tight, high-pressure situations. And it's nice to have that kind of security blanket on your team when you do get put in those stretches, because there's just going to be times where your third man is left alone and he has to make the play. Light shot turned away by Gumby.
Yeah, and Time, not only will he make the stop, but he has been very accurate on his passes, helping set up his teammates. As we see another one there, that was just ahead of Sugar. Sugar, though, I don't think wanted to go for that and wanted to just instead let that bounce off. But you're right, Jorby. Time on the back line has been rock solid.
Oh, Gumby,
Clearing it there.
Ran out of boost, too. I think if Gumby had just a little more boost, he could have put the pin or pushed the pin in front of the box. And while this has looked pretty decent for Kansas State, the Farmer boys haven't been able to pressure the box completely, but the demo might open up the space for Knack. He goes on the ground again, and that's going to be difficult for Gumby to handle. In the corner, Time will steal that boost away in midfield, but this is still K-State. Time, misread, but no shot. Here comes another one, and it's no! How is that ball out? What? Sugar got the save!
Oh my goodness, the chance was there, and another one off the post. Time will clear it out. Kansas State could not buy a goal. If they had all the money in the world, they still couldn't buy one, it seems.
You can have all the money in the world. You still can't get a loan, but Gumby makes a great save. Less than 10 seconds, though. They have to move down the field. It has to be right now. Gumby knows it, but the double commit turns nothing for Kansas State. Knack, he lost the ball, and Missouri S&T win the match 3-0. K-State made one heck of an effort in that final minute.
Wow.
Put on 9 shots at the end. Just could not find a goal. You said it. Couldn't buy a goal.
They couldn't. They really couldn't. I mean, I was ready. I was ready to witness the goal. It seemed inevitable for Kansas State, and somehow it did not go in. You did.
Ball was in the net, man.
That's got to be tough. I'm
almost tilted.
Yeah, it's tough. Everyone's had those games. Everyone's had those games where your team just needs one goal, and every time that you get close and it doesn't go in, it's just like you grip your controller a little bit tighter. It's got to be frustrating. But, credit to Missouri S&T. They played fantastic Rocket League from beginning to end. The passing plays, the clears. There were many times where they could have just, gone for that mindless hit off the backboard or just tried to boom it downfield, but they made that intentional infield passing play. They were purposefully trying to find each other out there on the field, and it paid off. I thought they played very well, and they deserved the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Missouri S&T came out to play, and, unfortunate for Gumby what happened in game 1. That can certainly, kill the mentality early on, but you have to recover from those situations in multiple games. But that's the end of that. Let's wrap F-Top back in. That was a crazy last minute of gameplay.